Morning all. Yesterday we have seen that Robert Frost poem, The Road Not Taken, and yesterday we have completed the initial two paragraph. Just go through the highlights of that poem. Two paragraphs. At the first paragraph, we have seen that the road is nothing but a life journey of individual, and where he was symbolizing that road nothing but a life. And two roads means there is an options are there. At initially was telling that Robert Frost that two roads diverge in a yellow wood. There is nothing but there is two options to go in the forest or in the journey, but it is very difficult. One can travel only in one way. He could not travel both. That's why he would become helpless, and he was telling that. And I stood and looked down as far as I could to where I met the undergrowth. What he was telling, I have searched to the end what I can see in the first road, but still I could not feel comfort at the first. He was initially was telling that he was become very helpless to choosing or in a dilemma of choosing the road at first what I have seen in the study class. And also second paragraph also yesterday we have seen that then he took the other way that he was not feeling comfort at the first line, and he was feeling that totally he was uncomfortable at the first zone, and he was shifting for another there. He was feeling that it is traveled by less people. He was comfort, and then took the other just as fair. He was comparing that it is good compared to that one, and having perhaps the better calm because it was a grassy and wanted weird, and thou, as far as that is passing there, had a own the really about the same. He was again he was thinking it was the same as not as different compared to the first, and we have seen all things in the last class. Let us go for the another two paragraphs today, and at the third stanza, what he was telling, see here. And both that morning, once again I'll recite the two paragraphs today. And both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first and the day, yet knowing way leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. It is a totally was telling that, and the two paragraphs about the how the journey has made his experience. He was adding in that this third paragraph, and he was telling here there is a continuation in the poetry, and both that morning equally lay in leaves, no step had trodden black. He was telling that both the leaves on the one had stepped in them was the very still green in color. He was telling when he was traveling in the next choosing the another way, the same thing he has seen there. He decided that he would take the path and keep the other path another day, although he knew that one way leads to the another way. He knew that he could not go back to the choice that he had made. Similarly, even in our life, once we have chosen the option, we must keep on moving ahead with that option only. When we have chosen one way to, we have kept one step to continue in our way, we should have to follow in that one way. That's the same thing he was telling. I kept the first for another day. At knowing how way leads to the way. Normally decision is once made, it's finalized, and I should have to move in that way. I should have to feel uncomforted. Normally it happens, never get a chance to come back and take other options that we had left earlier. Normally everywhere in decision making, once we have made a decision, and when you come to the end of the stage, you should not repent for that one. It's quite common in everything happens. If you choose in our life, we have chosen the way in this first way, then we should not feel uncomfort at this zone. Common happens in everybody's life when there is options. options are there in that concept. Normally, what happens every time Frost was it is an experiment what he was done in his life, and he was telling at third paragraph that he was shifted for another path, and that looks very similar in our life. Same thing happens. We should have to go with the steps what we have followed in this one. And in the fourth paragraph, what he tells here, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in the wood. I took the one less traveled by, and that was made all the difference. What he was telling here, he says that in future he will take a deep breath and say that once upon a time he had reached such a point that in a life that there were two options for him, and he traveled on that road which had been traveled upon by lesser number of people. Normally happen when some comfort or uncomfort zone what he decides. I have traveled to the in a way that where there is a less people were travel. The decision of the he has decided in his future, and similarly in future when he grow up, then they will say that once upon a time when you were young you had two options. Normally happens everywhere when we spend a certain type of life in our days journey of life. Normally saying that you would have been there in that decision making. You have made this decision, you should have to follow through this way only. The choice that you have made become a lot to everyone. Normally what he was telling, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. When we passed our days and that time what happened, we should have to comfort with that way what we have traveled. Two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by. Less travel, nothing but he was telling that if there is an options in everybody's life, we should have to be careful while making choices out of the options that you have. Choosing, there is a don't be confused state. You should have to choose one particular way and following that one. Even there are many difficulties, we should have to reach our goal. We should not repent for that one. Normally, what he was telling in this poetry was totally. When we look at the second, third, and fourth paragraph, that poet was telling that returns to the point before he had made decision. He was thinking to go back to the decision what he has made, but both the ways looked equal and the same in the morning. When he was going to the same way, he was thinking, and the same thing in the morning he was telling. Poet makes that final decision to choose the way which is less trouble or less common way, where the people were traveled very less, then he has followed the way. And the last paragraph what he was totally telling is that the poem is and with the journey, and he was suggested making difference in the life and uses opportunities. Use the exact opportunity. What you get, you should have to enjoy that, and you should have to make a bold decision while making, and you should have to go according to the decision what you are making. Don't be unhappy or unconditional, and be very positive about that what we have chosen the way to lead our life. Totally the poet is glad of himself that he had chosen a right path. We should be satisfied at the end of our journey or end of our decision making. What you have chosen, you should have to be a comfort. We should not think about the past. I would have made a very wrong decision while making a decision. We should not be there. Once we made a decision, it is a lifetime decision, and we should be follow according to that way. It is quite common in every journey of life. We should have to follow according to Frost, Robert Frost. What he was telling in that total poem, "The Road Not Taken," he was telling that we should have to make a very wise decision. Wise decision is nothing but you should have to be very proud and about what you have chosen. Totally, we can conclude this poetry by saying that poet suggests everyone should choose equal good option wisely, and while taking a decision, we should be very wise and make a wise decision to go ahead in our life. This is common thing what you have seen this poetry. And second one, you can say that the choice make all the difference in our life. What you choose according to the same thing, what we are going to achieve. Examples you can say that at initially you have taken a decision to work hard and to get succeeded. Normally it happens throughout our life. If you go on in a wrong way, it will be effective in future days. That is an effectiveness what will make in difference in this life. Don't regret for what you have chosen. One should not feel regretted or irritated for that what you have chosen. Normally it happens in everybody's life. Even if I have to be there in that way, it is good. If you have chosen being here, you are thinking that about another way. It is a very wrong thing, and also it leads to unhappy of our life. And totally Robert Frost is telling that everyone should be brave to explore the opportunities and possibilities. Yes, it is 100% right that he was telling that one should have to explore the opportunities. What you have and good opportunities in that way, what you have chosen, you should have to take very positively and make it very useful to grow yourself and explore yourself. This is what he was telling. And also man's decision makes changes in life. Totally, Frost was telling the same thing. It all depends upon the decisions making. What you decide, and you will be there if you are dedicated something in your life. So it is quite common. If you make dedication in the right way, that choosing options, it will be a perfect towards the perfection. Choosing the unpopular route can be rewarded. Sometimes it is possible that if you have chosen unpopular route can be rewarded. Sometimes it is possible to be there unacceptably, unknowingly if you have chosen one way. It is a time being achievement but not lifetime, but it feels that one. Choosing the less traveled route lead to problems. Sometimes what we can say that totally, sometimes if you choose the less traveled route, it leads to a problem also. But we don't have experience or we could not make a decision at the right moment, at the right time. It will be very difficult for completing our task of our life. Normally it happens with everyone. If we come to the end of our lifetime journey, we repent for that one sometimes also. I would have made that one that age. I have failed because of this one. So many reasons we are going to say that. But what Robert Frost was telling that take the maximum opportunities where you have chosen and explore yourself and getting good options in our life. We should identify somewhere and do the best for the humanity. Totally, Frost was telling that in this total poem, we can conclude that saying that man should choose a very best way or a best options. Even there are many options, just choose the best and where I can do the best to this human world. These are the major issues what we were discussing in this poetry, the road not taken. It is a very outstanding poetry of Robert Frost. It is a very well known and a popular poem of British literature. We should enjoy this poem by reading again and again. I hope this completes your a poem, The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. Thank you.